There is potential war brewing in Eastern Europe. NATO countries are growing wary because Russia is keeping its cards too close to its chest. World leaders are banking on diplomatic talks, but there have been no breakthroughs so far through the diplomatic efforts. Multiple dialogues have started on a high note but ended with a stalemate. We are being told at this point that the Ukrainian president is going to be speaking to the American leader, Joe Biden, within hours. Both leaders are set to discuss the security situation on the Ukrainian borders. Russia refuses to have any plans of setting foot in Ukraine, but Western countries are certain about the invasion. They are even preparing their own retaliation, and they are ready with the same, they say. The German Chancellor Olaf Scholz has said that all NATO members will waste no time and immediately slap sanctions against Russia. The German government saying that tensions have reached a critical point. But NATO will keep pushing for diplomacy, which is why Scholz is scheduled to travel to Kiev on Monday, and after that he will be heading far east to visit the Russian President Vladimir Putin. European leaders are shuttling between Kiev and Moscow to try and keep the lines of communication open with the Russian regime and to try and diffuse the tensions. The crisis, however, is not stopping Russia from holding the military drills. Critics say Vladimir Putin is showcasing the country's military strength to deter Ukraine and the West. It seems like the Black Sea has become a private backyard for Russia to hold the training exercises. A Kilo-class submarine passed through the Bosphorus Strait. Earlier, 6 Russian naval landing ships had sailed to the Black Sea, and that's not all. 30 ships have started training exercises near the Crimean Peninsula, and joint military drills with Belarus are underway. So Russia has basically amassed its troops, tanks, jets, ships and rocket launchers around Ukraine. The western border is the only one without Russian troops, and that is also the only way Ukraine is looking for solutions. On to India now, where the daily COVID-19 cases have dropped below the 50,000 mark for the first time in 40 days. The country has reported over 44,000 cases and more than 608 deaths in the last 24 hours. An 11% drop was also registered in the daily infection surge as compared to the day before. India's recovery rate now stands at 97.5%, and the daily positivity rate stands at over 3%. Let's talk about the top 5 states which reported the maximum number of cases. The southern Indian state of Kerala reported over 15,000 COVID-19 cases. Maharashtra reported over 4,000 cases, followed by Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Rajasthan. Meanwhile, nearly 5 million vaccine doses have been administered in the last 24 hours. India's mega vaccination drive started on the 16th of January last year, and since then, over 1.7 billion doses have been administered across the country. Earlier in the day, the Indian Health Minister had tweeted that over 70% of adolescents between the ages of 15 and 18 have received their jab of a COVID-19 vaccine. As the situation in the country improves, the government has revised its travel guidelines. From Monday, that is the 14th of February, travelers arriving in India will not have to undergo a mandatory 7-day home quarantine or provide RT-PCR test on the 8th day of their arrival. Under the new guidelines, international arrivals have been recommended to self-monitor for 14 days for symptoms. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.